Refresh. Let's try this again. Take two. Switchcraft is Switchcraft is brought to you live 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern and on Saturday at whatever time I can get to it. Tune in live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by Andrew Watterson. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. Streamlabs has Patreon integration. I don't know if it works with Streambot, but like if somebody pledges to the Patreon, it shows up as an event in my alerts. And you want it for more than alerts. You want it for more. Save project as. And this is 179. Episode 179 of Switchcraft is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free book and directly support the... I gotta edit that. I keep saying stream and it should be show. Episode 179 of Switchcraft is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free book and directly support the show by checking out Audible. They have thousands of books from every genre. You're definitely going to find something you like. Just head on over to runjumpstomp.com/audible. Something is rattling here. I think it's that. There we go. I fixed the rattle. Sponsor, zub. By the way, speaking of bots, I almost forgot about this. If you want to help by suggesting a title for the show, Showbot Reset. There we go. If you want to help by suggesting a title for the show, all you have to do is follow what the bot said in chat. You do !S and a suggested title. Maybe I say something doofy during the show, or maybe you've just got a good way to sum up everything that I've talked about. You can do that, and then you guys can even vote on your favorite titles. This is the first time that I've actually remembered at the beginning of the episode to ask for that, so good job, me. All right. Can you sing? Gunja? No, I cannot sing. Pudding, you have a link for me? Go ahead and whisper it to me, Pudding. I may already have it in the show notes, though, but you're welcome to share. And while I'm waiting for you to do that, I will do the first story. Oh, don't be sorry that your name is Netherlands. I just am bad at pronouncing. I'm doing my best. Oh, you dropped it in the Discord. Yes, I saw that. I'm not going to talk about that yet, Pudding, and that's and it's because like there's nothing to say yet except for basically repeating the same story that I talked about a while ago. It's just that it's moved forward a little tiny bit. So I'm not actually going to talk about that today, but thank you for thinking of me. All right. So we go back. All right, here we go. Well, it looks like we've got a little Capcom rumor on our hands. This is according to Nintendo Life. Capcom has an unnamed action/adventure game that they're going to be talking about at E3 2018, and that is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. And if you're watching the video, you can see the thing here from Capcom's site. It says here that there is product categories that they're planning on talking about at E3. Action adventure for Nintendo Switch, action adventure for PC Windows, action adventure for Xbox One, fighting and wrestling for PC Windows, and fighting and wrestling for PlayStation 4. So it looks like the Switch is getting a game that will be coming to PC and Xbox, but not to PS4, which honestly is really, really surprising to me. I don't know why anybody would do that. Like, I can see why somebody might put it out on the PS4 and the Switch, but to and not put it on the Xbox, but to avoid PS4, which has, I think it's, I could be wrong, and I probably am wrong, but I think it's close to 60 million. No, it can't be that high. Maybe 60 million devices have been sold for the PS4. Now, some of those are overlaps, like somebody bought a PS4, and then when the PS4 Pro came out, they bought that as well. And they're probably not using both. Like, maybe it got traded in when they bought it. So I'm sure it's not that high. But for Capcom to not put it out on that system, that's just really surprising to me. Now, I am assuming that the action-adventure game that's going to come to the Switch is the same action-adventure game that is coming to PC, Windows, and Xbox One. And the reason that I'm assuming that is because any game that comes out on Xbox One also will come to PC and Windows. Not necessarily through Steam, but through, I guess you can play any Xbox One game on Windows 10. So, you know, maybe it's a game that they started development for and they were going to do it on PC, and then they or started on Xbox, and then they decided to port it to just the Switch. And maybe we'll get a PS4 version later. I really have no idea. It's pretty surprising to me. This could also just be a rumor and not actually be accurate. So only time will tell. E3 is right around the corner, and I'm sure that we'll find out more soon. Gunja just means just yeah. Cool. I'm sorry that you're furious, Pudding. I don't have anything that I would talk about it, though. I got your South Park thing that I'll talk about. Hey, Josh, what's up, man? All right. Let's name that track Capcom. You know what? I want to record at the end of that here. And so I guess my question to you is, what Capcom property that is an action adventure game do you think that we're going to be getting for the Nintendo Switch? And you can come up with any idea that you want. What I'm hoping for is a brand new Contra game. I think that would be really cool. You know, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. I think that'd be a good idea. All right. So there, we added that in at the end. Let me fix that, because I want that cut, paste, delete. Okay, perfect. Save. Mikey, you got no notification? I'm sorry, man. By the way, for you guys that don't know, I'm going to be on N64 Josh's show tonight. That's going to be in about 5.5 hours. We're going to be recording his show, which is Nintendo Power Cast. Not Nintendo Power Podcast, but Nintendo Power Cast. Awate86 with a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. 7 months in a row. I hope you have a great day. Bam, right there. Where's my hat? Let me get the hype hat. There we go. We got the hype hat going. Thank you very much, Awate86. All right. Let's see. UK starts. No. Okay, here we go. And who was this? Okay. So big thank you to that chat zap for dropping this into the Switchcraft links in the Discord. And if you want to join our Discord, make sure that you head on over to runjumpstomp.com/Discord. Make sure that you join that over there and have lots of conversations with awesome people. And it is the top games over in Europe, according to GameIndustry.biz. And there's something on here that surprised me. Now, I didn't talk about it last episode, or maybe it was the episode before, where I guess Nintendo Labo didn't do so hot over in Japan. I guess it didn't sell very well, but it's selling very, very well in Europe. It's actually the number 3 entry for Nintendo, or I'm sorry, for the titles this week. Of course, God of War is number 1. Far Cry 5 is number 2, and bringing in number 3 is Nintendo Labo Variety Pack. The Robot Pack is not listed on here, but that's not a big surprise. I feel like the Variety Pack is definitely, and I haven't used them, but it feels like it's got, of course, more variety to it, and I feel like that's more appealing to most people. On top of that, it's also $10 cheaper. Followed that by FIFA 18 and then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is surprising because that game's been out for a while. Now, I know that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has outsold Mario Kart 8, which was a Wii U game. That's not a huge surprise. The Wii U didn't have a whole lot of consoles in the wild. The Nintendo Switch has been selling like gangbusters, and Mario Kart has always been one of the top selling games. And then if you continue to follow that down, in the number 8 spot, we've got Super Mario Odyssey. So Super Mario Odyssey still holding strong. It's the best-selling Mario game of all time, I think. Well, best-selling 3D Mario game of all time, I think. I'm not sure if it beat the 2D going. I don't think it would beat the 2D ones, especially the ones that were on the Wii. But Super Mario Odyssey sold 10 million copies in 6 months, so that's pretty crazy. I'm surprised that Nintendo Labo is doing so well on the charts, especially with huge games like God of War and Far Cry 5 to compete with, especially because those are on systems that have much larger install bases. So there you go. I still am not interested in Labo, but I guarantee there's a lot of people out there that are, and this is proof. All right. Mikey B. Playing will be umping in baseball. Gwunja wants to know what my favorite color is. My favorite color? I don't know, gray, I guess. It's too hard to store Labo in small living spaces. N64 Josh, I agree with you, and that's why I don't want it. I don't think it's a bad experience. In fact, I think it looks really fun, but I don't want all that crap in my house. So I agree with you, Josh. I agree with you. Brav says, buying Labo for kids means more God of War time for dad. That's awesome. All right, so let's, excuse me. Nintendo is apparently making a new left Joy-Con. Now, if you've been listening to the show since it started forever ago, when the Nintendo Switch first came out, they were having problems with the left Joy-Con. Basically, it would lose connection, and this was very, very easy to find or easy to have happen if you were playing Zelda. Like, you'd be running along playing Zelda, and the left Joy-Con would disconnect from the Switch, and Link would just continue running whatever direction you were holding at the time, and you were like, well, what's going on here? Now, when the Switch first came out, I never really noticed that I was having this issue, and that's because most of the time when I played my Switch, my Joy-Cons were connected to the Switch, or my Joy-Cons were literally like a foot from the Nintendo Switch. Like, I'm sitting here in my in my excuse me, in my podcast studio, and even in my old studio, which was my wife's sewing room, I could reach out and touch the switch when I was playing. So I never really was very far from the switch when I was playing. And there is a YouTuber named Spawnwave, and Spawnwave had taken apart the Joy-Cons and realized that there was an antenna that was just a little too short. So he soldered some extra, I don't know, antenna stuff, like some kind of metal. I don't know what kind of metal, probably a copper wire or something. He soldered that on there to make the antenna longer, and his issue went away. And then Nintendo started saying, hey, if you're having this problem, please let us know. And so I did some tests, and sure enough, my Switch was having that same problem, but I had never noticed it because I was always really close to the Switch when I was playing. So I called up Nintendo. They sent me a package. I put my left Joy-Con in there, sent it out. I got it back like 2 days later, and everything has been hunky-dory ever since. And people figured, well, they probably had already fixed this issue and moved on. And I think that they probably had. However, I think that they want to go one step further and make it even better. And that is why they've done enough of a change now that this requires a new FCC filing, because it is making the Nintendo Switch Bluetooth signal a little more powerful, than it was before. So if you go to the link in the show notes, you'll see a picture of the new layout. And if you never looked at the old layout, you'd be like, well, whatever, I don't really know what I'm looking at here. But apparently, to people who can look at this stuff and understand what exactly is going on, the Joy-Con is different inside, and it's to make the antenna, the Bluetooth antenna for that Joy-Con longer. So, I don't know if that means that the Joy-Cons that we've had in like the past 6 months or so are still having the same issues that we did with the launch Switches. So what I would recommend everybody do is to make absolutely sure. One of the best ways that you can test this is get as far away from your Nintendo Switch as you can. Bring up the calibration control. All right. Take your Nintendo Switch left Joy-Con and start rotating the joystick on it. Rotate it around and watch on the screen to see how it's working. And then cover part of it with your hand or put it behind you. Basically, you want to get some part of your body between the Joy-Con and the Switch. And I guess the water in your body starts to disrupt the electrical signal. I really have no idea how Bluetooth works. I know it's just radio frequency, but like the fact that I was able to block it with my hand was like kind of surprising to me. But you want to get some part of your body between the controller and the Nintendo Switch. And if you are having the issue as you rotate the joystick around, it'll start to skip on the screen. And that's how you know that there's definitely a problem. So I would recommend that you do that just to make sure that yours is okay. And if it's not okay, call Nintendo immediately. They have been really, really good about fixing these things. I know a buddy of mine, Bravd, he had the same issue with his. And he just came to my house and borrowed my Pro controller. I handed him that, and he still had something to play with for a couple days while he was waiting for his to come back. And again, he got his back like really, really fast. So I recommend everybody check it out and just make sure that yours is working okay before it goes out of warranty. Harvey P, thank you for the bet, man. Every bit helps. All right, we're going to call that Joy Save. Josh said his blue Joy-Cons had to be sent in. I had to send in mine as well. Well, I had to send in mine. I wasn't sure if I had to send in my son's, but I did it anyway, just in case. Okay. Thank you again to, oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. Awate, thank you for the 7 months. And Link31254, thank you for the 10 months. I was going to take the hat off, but it looks like the hat stays on. Thank you very much, you guys, for the support. I really appreciate it. All right. Our next story comes from Nintendo Soup, and it is that Mario is about to have some more clothes to wear. I guess there's been some data miners, and the data miners have the latest patch for Super Mario Odyssey, which is 2.0.0, I believe. And they've gone through that and have pulled out some information, and it's a whole bunch of new uniforms that you can unlock for Mario in the game. Now, some of the, the data miners are saying that some of these are time unlocked, so it's not something that you can unlock yet, but at some point in the future, these will be unlocked, so now you can go to the store and buy them. And we've got, let's see, we've got a batting helmet, baseball uniform, conductor costume, racing outfit, Santa outfit, Satellaview. Okay, so the baseball and the Satellaview we already have. Zombie outfit, Harriet costume, which I have no idea what that is. The Rango suit, I don't know what that one is either, and the Topper suit, which was just recently showed off. So that's the one where you can dress up like a green guy with a top hat and the rabbit ears. So I really, really like the zombie one. The zombie one looks fantastic. Like his Mario's clothes are all ripped. His eyes are pure white, and he's got an axe sticking out of his head, and he's got only one shoe on. I think that's fantastic. He also, there looks like there's a powdered wig. And then there's the Santa one, which I think is really cool. And it looks like a motorcycle suit. But overall, I think that these are pretty neat. And I know that my son, he already unlocked the Topper suit because he really likes to play Luigi's Balloon thing, and you make a lot of coins playing Luigi's Balloon World. And so he always has like a bunch of coins. And so as soon as the Topper suit was out, he was like, well, I'm buying that. And he went and bought it like right away. But anyway, if you want to see what these look like, and you're not watching the video on YouTube and you're not here live, first off, what are you doing? You got to be here. It's awesome. Secondly, just go to the link in the show notes and you can check it out because they're really cool looking. Mario. Save. See you later, Josh. I'll see you tonight, man. Kodiak Moonwolf. I just stood about 10 feet away from my Switch, held the two Joy-Cons behind me, and did the test on the calibration test. The left Joy-Con definitely didn't behave the same as the right. Call Nintendo as soon as you can and get it replaced, man. Like, stop listening right now and go call Nintendo, Kodiak. All right. Now, wait a second. Where'd my South... Oh, my South Park story's all the way at the bottom for some reason. Okay. Okay, we've got a quick little PSA, a public service announcement that I want to make sure that people hear about. If you have picked up South Park, The Fractured But Whole, I'm making sure to space those things out. Very clever title, by the way. Makes me laugh almost every time. There is a save file corrupting bug in the game. The bug has been discovered by a lot of different people. And I guess if there's a point in the game in which you're supposed to follow Wendy, who is a character in the game, into a phone booth, it will trigger this loading screen that will just seem to go on forever, and then it will corrupt your save file in the progress, which is it's a huge problem. And it's really too bad because this is supposed to be a really fun game. Now, that being said, Ubisoft has wrote back to one user. They said, hey, cool DJ Mick, Mike, I'm not sure how to say that. They said, thank you for reporting the issue to us. Our dev team has identified the issue and prepared a fix that will be published with the next update. If you have any further concerns, questions, or I read that wrong. Further problems, questions, or concerns, please feel free to contact us. So it's good that it's patched. There's no way knowing how long it's going to take Nintendo to approve the patch for this game. So if you are asked to follow Wendy to the phone booth in your game of South Park, don't do it. Just wait. And that sucks because you don't want your save file to get corrupted. And I've heard that it's a really good game otherwise. So make sure that you're just careful and be aware of this issue. Okay, so we'll name this South Park. And thank you again, Link and Awate, for the support. Hats off to you, friends. Did you run into the same issue, Vaxer? Okay. All right, I want to talk a little bit about reviews of games, and more specifically, not my reviews because this doesn't really apply to me, but reviews of games that give out numbers for scores. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the or for the Wii U, that game got a 6 from GameSpot. Okay, they received a 6. And, they said the good was that it had exciting and challenging boss battles. It had vehicle sections to help break up the more monotonous moments. The bad stuff was that they said that it had dull and repetitive design and employed some cheap and cheap and frustrating platforming tricks, and it had harsh checkpoints during boss battles. And they gave it a 6. Now, the game is being re-released for the Nintendo Switch. There are some changes to the game where they added in Funky Kong. Funky Kong has like the ability to double jump, and he's got another attack. I can't remember exactly everything that Funky Kong can do that's different from the previous game, but basically it's like an easier mode. Okay, and GameSpot gave the game a 9 this time. Now, I know a lot of people are very unhappy, or a lot of people are saying they're crying foul because the same game got a 6 before and it's a 9 now, and people are saying, well, they're drinking the Kool-Aid. Well, first off, we have to remember that the first one was reviewed by Mark Walton, and the second review was by a different person, by Peter Brown. So, of course, that one person's going to give it one score and another person's going to give it another score. That's why scores are subjective. But what you have to remember, and this is why I absolutely despise numbered scores for games. People give it a numbered score, and that's the only thing that people care about is what number score did it give. Okay? Now, this person, Peter Brown, he went on to say that it had demanding platforming that tests you in a variety of ways, a consistent stream of creative ideas to keep things fresh from beginning to end. Funky Kong is a great addition that serves novice and experienced players in different ways, and whether playing handheld or dock, Tropical Freeze looks better than ever. And then they didn't say anything was bad. Now, I can play a game and you could play a game, and I might say that I find that it's a dull game with derivative level design, and you might say, what are you talking about? This game is super awesome and I love it. And we would give it 2 different scores. But the thing is, the problem with numbered scores is that people look at the score and they don't bother to read the review. And this is why I never give numbered scores for games that I review. I just give you my thoughts on the game. I tell you the good things that I like. I tell you the bad things that I don't like. And I tell you, the kind of things that I think that you might want to know about when playing this game. So this is why I hate numbered reviews. And this is one of the things that I want you guys to try and do if you want to have a better experience with video games, what I would recommend is that you always ignore the number. The number is pointless. What you should look for is who's the reviewer. Find a reviewer who plays the games that you're interested in, and then find a reviewer that you tend to agree with most of the time. And it's going to take some time. You're going to have to read a lot of reviews. I will recommend somebody that I think does a great job reviewing games, and that would be Jeff Kanata. Two N's, one T. He would say that, of course. I can't remember off the top of my head if he does numbered reviews or not. I don't think he does. But he and I tend to agree most of the time on the types of games that we like. And it's not 100% of the time, but most of the time when I read or watch one of his reviews, I'm like, yep, I'm right there with you. I agree. And so I would recommend that you find a reviewer that you mostly agree with and pay attention to what they say about a game, not the number that they give it. Now, no offense to Mark Walton or Peter Brown here. It's not their fault that GameSpot is forcing them to assign numbered scores to the game. And the reason that GameSpot forces their writers to assign numbered scores to the game is because they want to get their stuff in Metacritic, I think. I could be wrong about this, but it's what people clamor for. People are always clamoring for what score do you give it? Is this a 9? Is it a 10? Is it a 3? And I find that to be the least useful part of a video game review. But that's just me. Numbers. Save. All right. I gotta... Oh, man. Hey, thank you so much, Rez. I appreciate that. Let me download that. I'm going to download that after the episode's over, man. Excuse me, I just burped like a big jerk. I will say this, Rez. I didn't like the last episode. Like my wife and I were watching it and we were like, this really isn't as good as the first few. So I hope this one's better. All right, where are we? Okay, here we go. All right, so we've got brand new trailer of gameplay footage from the Splatoon 2 Project Octo. No, that's not it. Just that's Project Octopath Traveler. I think it's just the Octo update. This basically is the single player DLC for Splatoon 2, and we finally have some gameplay footage of this game. And I think it looks really good. Now, I'm not going to bring it up on screen because then my YouTube thing will get flagged. So what I want you guys to do, if you want to see what this looks like, it looks so fun. And just click on the link in the show notes. But they showed just a little bit of sniper, like this level where they've got to use a sniper rifle to hit these enemies as they slide by really, really fast. And it looks really fun. And when I watched this, the first thing that I thought was, man, I still have yet to really play Splatoon 2's single player campaign. I jumped right in with Splatoon 2 multiplayer and I never looked back. I never went back to the single player to check it out. I might have spent like an hour on it once, and I was irritated most of the time. And the reason why I was irritated was because of that thing where they hide the entrance to the level and you have to just walk around spraying stuff in order to find the entrance to the level, which is a huge pain. I really don't like that. But I would definitely, I've got to finish I got to finish the single player campaign for Splatoon 2 so that I can try out this Octo stuff, because by all accounts, I've heard from many people that Splatoon 2's single player campaign is really, really good. I adored the single player campaign for Splatoon 1, minus the stupid hidden hidden zone entrances. Like, that just drives me crazy. And this footage makes it look really good. And I also really like the tone that they're setting. They've got this weird tone where and this isn't in the gameplay footage. This is just kind of like the intro for the Octo expansion. That's what it's called. Now I remember. The thing that I feel like it feels like a zombie movie or something. And I can't quite place my finger on what about it makes me think of zombies, but there's something about the intro to this that makes me think of zombies. There's something about when they unveiled the Octo expansion at the Nintendo Direct that makes me think of zombies. And there's just an overall feeling that I get when I look at this. And I like that idea in Splatoon 2. So I've got to finish the single player campaign so that I can check out the Octopath expansion. And, if you didn't already know, the Octopath expansion is, if you finish it, you can unlock being an Octoling instead of a squid in the game, or in the multiplayer game, which is kind of cool. I really don't care about that, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that do. So I think it looks awesome, though. All right, Octo. Yeah, make sure that you follow Res TV. Click on it and follow him, and he's awesome. I've been on his show. Have I been on your show twice or just once? I think I've been on your show twice, Resd. I could be wrong, though. It's weird because, like, I listen to the podcast. I listen to Nintendo Pulse, and when I'm listening to it, I've been on the show before, so it's like, was I on this episode or not? It's just I feel like I'm part of the episode. Oh, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because I went on your show once, and then you came on this for the holiday special once. That's right. All right, here we go. Speaking of videos that you should check out, we've got a brand new video on my YouTube channel, the youtube.com/runjumpstomp. And that is my impressions of Break for Assist Battle. I don't want to say first impressions, because my first impression was, boy, I don't like this game. And I talk about this a little bit in my impressions, or in the video. I don't want to call it a full review because I don't feel like I've played it long enough to really give it a full review. But I wanted to tell people about this game because I had a lot of fun with it the second time around. But my son was using my Switch, and he wanted to check out some of the games that I'd received as review copies because, my Switch has a lot more games than his does because I get those review copies. And he was checking out Break for Assist Battle, and I was kind of scrolling through Reddit on my phone, and I was watching him. I was like, man, that actually looks... He's having a lot more fun than I was the first time around. Maybe I just didn't give it enough time to get used to it. And so I saw that there was 2-player, and I said, can I get one of those Joy-Cons? And, we sat down and we started playing together, and we had a lot of fun. In fact, last night, my son, my wife, and we all sat down and we played a multiplayer against each other, playing Break for Assist Battle. And we had a lot of fun doing that as well. When I had played with him, it was just co-op. So now I've played both kinds. And, if you want to check out the full video, make sure you head over to youtube.com/runjumpstomp. And I suppose I should probably tell you what kind of game it is. It is basically a breakout clone. Like, you've got a paddle on the bottom, and there's a ball bouncing around, breaking blocks up at the top of the screen, and you have to keep the ball from going past the paddle. So that's the kind of game it is. I am a fan of it. I think it's a good game, and make sure that you check out the video. Save. Yeah, my main gripe with the game is that the game freezes when you get a power up, and I hate that. It's really irritating. All right, well, that's it for today's episode. Let me just go ahead and thank Miguelica83 for their 5-star review on iTunes. Let me start that again. Apparently, Apple does not like it when you call it iTunes. They want you to say Apple Podcasts. All right. Well, that's it for the news stories. Before we get out of here, I want to take a moment to thank Miguelica83 for their 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. They said, simply cool and entertaining, an amazing show with Nintendo Switch updates and reviews. Love it. Keep it up, old man. You can call me old man. So thank you very much for the review, Miguelica. I appreciate it. If you want to help out the show, that's one way that you can do it, is just by going to Apple Podcasts and reviewing the show. Tell people what you think. Thank you all for being here while I record the show. If you didn't know, the live streams tend to be longer than the actual audio show that you're listening to now. We'd get sidetracked talking about other stuff that wasn't included. And if you want to watch the full show, you can either watch live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp, or you can watch the video on demand later. I cut off the beginning and end just to get rid of the music. And I post it to YouTube at youtube.com/runjumpstomp. Thank you, everybody who has supported my content already. If you are looking for ways to support my content, you can do so by heading to twitch.tv. No, that's the wrong thing. By heading to runjumpstomp.com/thank you. All the links there will help me create more content. And the show just would not be the same without the live chatters. I really appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out with me. That includes people like Kodiak Moonwolf, Vaxer, Awate86, AR Slia, FCD3, Harvey P27, Link 31 254, Mr. Pokemon, Res TV, Slow Cool, Super 80s, TF Wagner, and the Lurkers. Just a quick announcement. If you are watching or listening to this show on May 1st, then just so you know, tonight at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern, I will be on the Nintendo Powercast. That's over at twitch.tv/N64Josh. We're going to be talking about Nintendo stuff. It's going to be me, N64 Josh, and Super Nintendad discussing the latest Nintendo news. So make sure that you head on over to that Twitch channel and check them out as well. Big thank you to Tom Winter and Noteblock for the use of your music. I appreciate it. If you haven't already checked out their stuff on YouTube, make sure that you do. They're crazy talented. I'm out of here, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye-bye. There we go. Outro. Save.